Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To start with, I'll share my bias. I've spent 35 years as a small business owner. I think we have too many regulations, so that is a bias, so I'll start with that. I'm just curious, when you come to work and use the word vision, do you think we have just the right number of regulations? Do you think we have too many regulations? Or do you think we need more regulations? Kind of as a start, maybe, for a little give and take here.
I'm happy to jump into that, and I think I'll agree with you. We have too many, but I think it's worth, and actually it goes a bit to the previous gentleman's question about why we sort of find ourselves where we are. And I think at DOT, when we were preparing for this hearing, I asked, well, where do all our regulations come from? The majority of them come from the authorizing committees of Congress. I'll give you a good example. MAP 21, we just had an authorization bill passed in transportation last year. It was a very popular bill. Passed with the bipartisan majorities in the House and Senate. President signed it. It has 100 new legislative mandates for DOT, which we estimate will incur 50 to 60 new rulemakings, half of which will be done by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration.
Not to cut you off, but I'm just curious, Ms. Hewlett.
I would agree.
I'm just trying to set the stage.
Yes, certainly.
Ms. Cook?
I would agree, although for us it's more qualitative than quantitative.
All right, so if we come to work and we all know and small business knows we have too many, and I'll be audacious enough to say 50% too many, 25% a really big number, and if we agree there's too many, is there an attempt by any of the agencies to actually numerically reduce the number, like to come to work and say, today we're going to delete 10, or this week we're going to delete 100, or this month 1,000? And do you track it? Do you know, for instance, over the last year, how many new regulations have gone in? I mean, that's a specific number. And how many, if any, you've deleted? So has the number gone up, down, or stayed the same? And if our goal is, and we all agree we have too many, I would like to think every month somebody should say, we just introduced 100 new regulations and we deleted 120. So net negative 20. We're getting where we need to go. Does that thought process even exist within your agency? Does anyone track it or not?
I mean, I think the thought process exists to see if there are ones we can eliminate. But again, most of our regulations are statutory.
No, I hear that.
They come from Congress, or they come from recommendations
I hear that.
the NTSB or GAO has made. So
in my world, that's defending the fact that they keep growing. Ms. Hewlett?
It's not defending it, but it's just the agency can't unilaterally undo a congressional mandate.
Okay. I call it defense, but go ahead. Ms. Hewlett?
I would agree with Ms. Totenberg. It sounds easier than it is. We, in the process of making some simple changes to our loan programs, it has taken us over a year. It's very challenging.
Ms. Cook?
I would look at the diversity of the communities that we serve. I don't know that a total number really gives you, again, a qualitative view at whether life is better or worse for a farm or ranch compared to a meatpacking plant, compared to an energy company, compared to a school providing school breakfast, to know that you've made life better or worse.
I guess what I'll do, I kind of pretty much anticipated this, and I just would give you my observation. If we all agree, and we did, we have too many regulations, the way to have fewer is to measure where we are and to measure it quantitatively, daily, weekly, monthly, to have a report, but also to have a process that would say our goal here is to reduce it and pick a number, pick some audacious number. We want to cut 10% of our regulations. How many is that? Is it 1,000? Is it 5,000? If you don't measure it, if you don't hold yourself accountable, but are defensive to say Congress, in fact, by passing laws, is creating more and more regulations, we're never going to get where we all started out agreeing we have too many regulations. You have to measure it. You have to hold yourself accountable. And I would hope maybe you could take that back, and at some point if I said, what's the data? Did we go up? Did we go down? Did we stay the same? You could snap your fingers and that number would come out, because we're never going to get a reduction of regulations if that's not one of the reasons we come to work every day. Just don't know if you'll agree or disagree. I got 20 seconds. Do you agree or disagree? That's reasonable.
I mean, I understand your approach. Again, I feel like the challenge we face, and again, I mentioned MAP 21.
So you disagree, Ms. Hewlett?
I don't think I can answer that question as simply as it's stated.
Okay, it was kind of a yes, no, but go ahead, Ms.
Just
Cook.
speaking from my own personal experience, when we tried this in the 1990s, a lot of things moved out of regulation where there was public comment and transparency and into the very handbooks and other things we've been talking about that don't have opportunities for public comment and don't necessarily have transparency. So again, I'm not sure a total number reduction actually gives you a better result at the end of the day.
I thank you all for I know my time's up, but I would say I think we need more of a focus on reducing regulations, and I'm disappointed somewhat to hear that's clearly not likely to happen. Thank you. Mr. Chairman.